2018, heartbreak for him. Half a thruster away from making the CrossFit Games. Wasn't able to get that done after a little bit of redemption from CrossFit Project Bayside in Melbourne. And Jaden Whakatopi-Stewart, CrossFit Urban, famous name we've heard. CrossFit Games team for the last 2 years. We'll see gym owner Caitlin Van Ziel a little bit later on in individual competition for the first time in a long time. Rob Watt there on screen in the brown shirt.
Here come all the gents. Ladies filing in on the other side. Again, if you just tuned in, the twist we have on this year's Randy at the Down Under Championships, 45 snatches, and then the athletes will walk the bar in an overhead lunge. They'll perform another 20 snatches, overhead walking lunge the bar to the final 10 reps, turn around and sprint to the finish. So a little twist on our original Randy hero workout.
Question for you, Brooke. You were to do this event, would it be easier or harder considering you get, I'm going to say a break, because you elite athletes break when other people are suffering and doing stuff. But that lunge, is that going to be a mini break for you to try and regain your breath a little bit?
It definitely helps on the breath, but I don't think it's going to help on like the grip and even your back a little bit. So definitely makes it a little bit harder, I think.
Not too far away from the start of heat number 2.
Would you muscle snatch this or do a tiny little power snatch, you think?
I would muscle snatch as long as possible.
Save the legs a
then,
little.
yeah, save yourself, but then resort to a power snatch once it gets a little bit more difficult.
One heat already gone, so the pressure absorbed by this crowd that is still filling in.
I'm impressed by how many people are here on a Friday. Do you Aussies not work on Fridays?
Nah, we normally just work like a couple of days a week and then we just go to the beach for the rest of it.
That's what it looks like.
Heat 2 underway. And as Annie and Brooke have mentioned, it's all going to be about the speed of the barbell and power snatch versus muscle snatch.
Yeah.
And who can hang on the longest? Bottom right of screen, Annie. Georgia Wellsman in the black and the blonde hair. She was exceptional at the Torium Pro this year and is moving that barbell super fast.
So is Courtney Fitzharris in that lane 5 right there. You can see, she's taking advantage of her slightly shorter stature. That turnover is really quick for her. The question is, and I haven't seen her break yet, the question is, how long can she hang on to that bar, and will it tax her for the 20s?
Yeah, I think it's really cool to see the different techniques of people like muscle snatching, power snatching, and then also, do you want to break more and go faster, or are you trying to hold on?
Right. Courtney did a huge set right there. She put the bar down and pretty much immediately picked it back up. Pretty impressive. Be interesting to see who goes out on those lunges first.
And first time we've had males, females on the competition floor here. Abby Carville not too far away.
And there, Gemma Hoke in lane 3, starting her lunges.
I might have said that a little bit earlier that Gemma was going to give this some.
You did. It's almost like you know what you're talking about.
Gemma and other Kiwi, Bailey Rogers, doing a lot of training together.
I'll give it to you, Jeremy. You also called Rob Watt in lane 10. He's doing well right now.
And also Jaden Whakatopi-Stewart doing well. Abby Carville trying to catch Gemma Hoke on the female side of things, while on the other end of the floor, Rob Watt in command, second from top. Another Kiwi as well.
It looks like Gemma Hoke only has 5 more reps.
It's going to be a great battle. Bragging rights.
Yeah.
Almost opposite each other on the competition floor.
It's like Brooke was just saying, this is great because the men can help push the ladies and the ladies can help push the men.
Sometimes not a good thing, Brooke.
Oh, yeah, I think it is a good thing. Oh, she didn't even drop the bar.
Yeah, just noticed that too.
Gemma Hoke, far right of screen. about to finish off, and the sprint back. Last 5 reps for Gemma Hoke. Does a little bit of training out of Torian, CrossFit Torian that is in Brisbane. And Gemma Hoke, all done. Jaden Fakatobi-Stewart as well, over the line, getting Rob Watts late in the piece. And now, as you mentioned, Brooke, the grip is starting to fail quickly.
Yeah, it seems like there's only 10 easy reps left, but those last 10 reps are going to be so hard.
Rob White over the line, Abby Carville coming through as well.
And that was Zane Shelbear Healy that just came in. Lisa Hemrick just came in.
Bar just flew out of her hands.
The bar did.
Yeah, lane 4.
Marlene Fleck and Georgia Wellsman, sprint finish for them. Daisy McDonald is done. Russell McCloy, Courtney Fitzharris now finishing up. Dylan Murphy, CrossFit Calder, the final athlete on the floor. And the smiling face of Courtney Fitzharris. And head judge Dan Williams laid down the law yesterday at the briefing and said, you athletes are good enough to hold the standard, so it's on you, it's not on us this weekend.
I like that.
Very strong message.
Yep, and I liked it. I think it's a legit message for all these athletes. It's, you know, if you're competing at this level, things shouldn't be a question in a judge's mind, right?
Yeah. I was going to say, it's interesting to watch how much lower the athletes are catching their snatches as they go, because you can just watch it add up.
Woo. Same. All these athletes were well within that time cap, but it looked like this was a slightly faster heat. Gemma Hoke coming in around the 3-minute mark, so was Jaden Wakatobi-Stewart, and then Abby Carville just behind them at about 3 minutes and 12 seconds unofficial. We saw these ladies filing out, and gentlemen, first event. You know the nerves on this, Brooke. It's like,
my gosh,
you just want that first event under your belt, because in that first moment you're thinking, why am I doing this?
Mm-hmm. That first event is always the most nerve-wracking. Once you've got one, you're kind of in a rhythm.
Would you prefer a fast event like this, or kind of a longer, more endurance event to start with?
I love the short events. I think they're so much fun, but also there's so much more on the line, because if you mess up, you have like a smaller window.
Yeah. Excellent for Gemma Hoke right there, and also Jaden Fakatobi-Stewart.
Connie Harris finishing things off. 2 heats down, 2 heats to come. Event number 1, Randy, day 1 of the Down Under Championships. We'll be back soon. Nasty Girls version 3, Rob Watts, very good in event number 1, and such a great athlete over so many years.
Excited to watch him on this event.
Jaden Fakatobi-Stewart as well, getting the heat win. And there's Rob, focused once again. Is that like a bit of blue steel going on?
Yeah.
Oh, there it is.
There was a little bit of turkey on that blue steel. What was that?
Oh, he's a good-looking human, isn't he?
Yes. So we got 3 rounds for time. The good old Nasty Girls, 50 pistols. They'll do 10 on one leg, 10 on the other, advance, another 10 and 10, 5 and 5, 10 ring muscle-ups, and 10 hang cleans.
Underway for heat number 2. And athletes not really in a rush to get things started. And as we've seen over the course of the previous 14 minutes, 14-minute time cap for event number 2, that patience sometimes is going to pay off, and those strategic breaks that you take and where you take them is probably going to get you over the line quicker.
And you can see Russell McCoy right there in lane 8, the farthest lane. He's holding that foot and going unbroken. He's not touching down. I got to say, I don't know if that's the best strategy, Jeremy. You're really going to tire out that leg. You're allowed to touch down in between that reps, in my opinion. You're best by using it. You can see Russell right there. He's not touching that foot down. Yes, it's faster, but I don't know that it's going to be worth it for him. The pistols, if you're efficient at them, this becomes your rest spot. You're not having to use your grip. It's just a chance to breathe and get away from all the upper arm pulling that you're going to have to do on both the ring muscle ups and the hang cleans.
Annie, this is your first time down in Wollongong. Regionals starting here in 2012. We have a little bit of a thing called pandemic that comes in and wipes everything apart. And we finally come back 10 years later. You've obviously watched the regionals on the broadcast. What are your thoughts being actually live in person?
I'm so excited. And there's a great crowd right now on a Friday afternoon. I cannot wait to feel the energy of this place. It's something that, it comes through on the stream when you're watching it. You can tell that this Aussie and Kiwi crowd is just more fired up than your average crowd. I just cannot wait to feel this room shake, especially tomorrow afternoon when it really fills up. I think Andres was saying they're almost sold out for Saturday.
So just under 5,000 capacity here at Wynn Entertainment Centre. All the athletes onto their ring muscle ups. Jaden Fakatopi Stewart's backing it up from event number 1. And not in too much of a rush to pick this bar up.
Again, it's not how fast you do round 1, Jeremy. It's how well you can complete round 3.
And Jaden, one of those young up-and-coming athletes that's going to be around for a very long time.
Very strategic break, it looks like right there from Jaden. I like it. I think it could serve him well in his later rounds. There's no reason to spike the heart rate or smoke the grip in round 1. Here's what'll be interesting, Jeremy. They're just over 3 minutes for round 1. How consistent can these athletes be for rounds 2 and 3?
Jaden Fakatopi Stewart's. Now, if you're a judge and you're looking at movement, you look at Jaden's pistols, you go, thank you.
Exactly.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hip clearly below the knee. He stands nice and tall and opens those hips on everyone. Again, they've said that you can touch down at the end of each rep. Use it. Complete the movement. Don't miss a rep. Use these pistols as a chance to breathe and not have to use your arms. Great spot to recover after those 10 ring muscle ups and 10 hang cleans that are really going to spike your heart rate.
So let's throw it back many years to when Nasty Girls was first introduced to the CrossFit world. Do you remember what year it was?
I would have to say probably 2005.
2005. So we go back to 2005 and you think about the monostructural weightlifting positions. You've got some gymnastics in here as well. So the monostructural is sort of left aside, and we're sort of accumulating that with the squat portion to get that heart rate up a little bit. But then you throw in your gymnastics and your weightlifting. The building blocks were there from a very early stage.
Right. 50 air squats, yes, air squats are gymnastics, but let's face it, like you're saying, it almost kind of mimics more of a monostructural thing, like a quick run or maybe a quick row when you think about the stimulus that it's going to give you. It's more heart rate than just completely burning you out or muscle fatigue. And then you go over to a classic but high-skilled gymnastics movement in the ring muscle-ups. Pretty funny, we were doing them off of our knees that day, mainly because we just didn't have enough high-hanging rings and we really didn't know any better.
But a great way to build up your strength for that movement.
we didn't know how to kip. We didn't know you could kip. We didn't
No.
know kipping was a thing back then.
I'll show you my first ring muscle up ever, and you're going to cry with laughter. It took me about a minute.
From start to finish?
Yep, it's like the Dave Castro deadlift video out there, yeah. But that's my ring muscle up,
Yeah.
so it wasn't pretty.
And then that, you know, the hang power clean. I mean, we hadn't done a lot of barbell cycling at that point. So it definitely, that was the movement that caught me by surprise. But it was great. It was very empowering to be able to do the 10 hang power cleans. At that time, just 95 pounds.
Harrison Rowley, top of screen, getting through his ring muscle ups very well. Fakatopi Stewart.
Again, possibly taking a strategic break.
Absolutely, he jumped straight down. Got a few more left.
Like we saw Bailey O'Brien fail that rep, and what that, you know, how that can cost you in the heat before. Luckily it didn't for Bailey's sake, but very smart on Fakatopi's part to take a measured rest right there.
Shelabere Healy strolling down the line. Pick up the barbell. CrossFit Dignus, one of our West Australian affiliates.
Great time for Zane to make a move. Jaden has taken another rest on those ring muscle ups. Look at how relaxed Zane looks on these hang power cleans.
Under the tutelage of Costa Illick over there in the west, as Harrison Rowley from Hilltop CrossFit and Jaden Fakatopi Stewart from CrossFit Urban get to the second round. Halfway through time cap here. Heat number 2 of event 2. Day 1 of the Down Under Championship.
And actually you can see Harrison Rowley's able to use that kind of hit and come under on the hang power clean, the old bump and go. So very impressive at that 175 that Harrison.
I thought you were going to say
that.
something else when you said, let's keep it at go, hey? Harrison Rowley in the lead for the first time.
Big move right there on that hang power clean.
Shelabere Healy now taking plenty of time to go back. Van der Velden moving to the bar. Rowley now, your leader, still looking pretty comfortable with these pistols. And Annie, as you mentioned, that mini break you get every single rep, I think is assisting the athletes in recovery.
Definitely. I mean, this is, for most of these athletes, pistols are not a difficult move. So this is your chance to catch your breath, get off your grip, kind of reset your upper body and get ready for the ring muscle ups. And you can see Rowley's really doing that. He wasn't an athlete we were watching early, but he now has the lead. He's about to go into that final set of ring muscle ups at just under the 9-minute mark.
What's that famous saying? Slow and steady wins the race, or something?
Yes, sir.
Hare in the tortoise.
Hare in the tortoise.
There we go.
It's hard though, Jeremy. You know, you're so excited. It's the, you know, your first or second event. You feel so good. You get out on the floor. It's really hard to pull back and not go all out. What is really 90% when you're first out there feels like 70%. So you really have to know yourself as an athlete to know when you should be breaking, not just when you could be breaking. Harrison Rowley, the only athlete on the final set of 10 ring muscle ups.
Now, this is where you fall into a trap. You're ahead. You can see all of your competitors ahead of you. You sit there and go, I'm going to do all 10 and jump ahead to the barbell where your grip's going to get even more fatigued, but he's done the sensible thing and dropped down.
Exactly. Not if you're Harrison Rowley. He knew right what to do. Did you see even the way he stopped his swing, so he killed the swing of the rings, hopped down? That means he's not having a fight with those rings when he decides to jump back up. He's got a good lead on all these other gentlemen. The thing for Harrison now is he has to remember he's not just racing this heat, he's racing all the other heats around him.
I just want to look at his legs for a second. He's breaking at the knee and breaking at the hip a lot, so losing that hollow shaped position, which we know is a very strong gymnastic position. It's probably due to being so late in the rep count, but losing that core strength is really making him work so much harder.
It is, but you know, for him, again, if you have a strong enough midline, I hate to say this, but you don't have to hold a perfect position. You can use a little bit more of those legs and knees to get some momentum, and you can save a little bit of your midline. You don't have to be perfectly hollow. He's getting a great pop from the hip, so although it's not, you know, a Dave Durante hollow body muscle up, let's face it, in competition, there's perfection and there's competition, and they're two different things, and they're not always going to look the same. And it's so long as you can do the fundamentals and the basics when needed, and you have those building blocks, it will allow you to hit some less than desirable positions in the heat of competition and still do well.
Rowley. Last sets. Is he going to go unbroken? Making sure he rests in that rack position. I'm loving where his elbows are landing every time. Resting on those shoulders and giving him that little bit of a breath before he goes into his next rep. What a great set. Hand
Great
power
job.
cleans. Harrison Rowley. Hilltop CrossFits.
So, you know, I got to tell you, Jeremy, one time I was somewhere with Chad Vaughn, who is, you know, is a great Olympic lifting coach.
Yes.
He's been to the Olympics for Olympic weightlifting. He's a great coach that a lot of athletes have utilized in CrossFit. And somebody was kind of doing that hit and bump style.
Oh, what? Was it anger?
No.
No.
I said, does that just drive you wild? He said, no. And you know why? Because that spot where that bar hits on your hip, ideally when you're cleaning or when you're snatching, that is the last moment that bar hits you. So in his
That's
mind,
where you wanted to hit.
yes, sir.
Boom.
And so in his mind, he's saying this is actually in some ways reinforcing that position that you want to see these athletes in right at the last moment before they start to pull under.
Chad
Who
Vaughn.
would have thunk it?
Hey, Chad Vaughn. You know what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Rob Watt is about to pick this barbell up, and you are going to watch Rob Watt do all 10 of these reps. Zane Shalabear-Healy, CrossFit Dignus. Last 5 reps, Rob Watt coming hard, but Rob taking a break as well. Zane taking another break. Jaden Fakatobi-Stewart with it all to do. Russell McCoy, lane number 8. Sneaking way down the back there.
Yeah.
It is going to be Zane Shalabear-Healy. Oh, Russell McCloy, it spat him out the back.
Again, all these gentlemen, their grip just has to be smoked from Randy.
Rob Watt's done.
It was only about 2 hours ago that these athletes performed Randy, so 75 snatches, your grip is not fully recovered yet.
Russell McCloy getting finished up in lane 8.
And then-
Jaden Fakatobi-Stewart's last 5 reps. Ethan Vandervelden. They've only got about 20 seconds left on our time cap. They're going to have to move. Fakatobi-Stewart in.
But if you remember, Jeremy, we talked about Fakatobi's first split time was just over 3 minutes, and he barely made the time cap. So again, maybe a little too hot on that round 1.
So Dylan Murphy, our last competitor on the floor, not to get done under that time cap. Vandervelden sneaking under with a couple of reps remaining. So Heat 2, proving again how difficult this event is going to be.
Well, and you know, like I was saying a second ago, Jeremy, it's really easy. You know, your nerves are going, your adrenaline is going, so it's really easy to go out in round 1, think that you're going at 70%, feel like you're going at only 70%, but you're really going at 90%. So this is where it pays to be a really veteran athlete and to have a plan, to know when you're going to break, to be deliberate about those breaks, to know how long you're going to break for, so that you don't, if anything, you're going negative splits or your splits aren't changing that much between rounds 1, 2, and 3.
Dave Driscoll, the mayor of Bali.
Sitting there with Alpha Fitz, Jamie.
That's it, I know.
Fun guy, I don't know his last
And
name, but
Jamie Montisalvo, Ben Deneen as well from the Wildlife two of our major sponsors here, partners of the Down Under Championship.
Some of the nicest gents I've met.
Absolutely. You just don't know them well enough yet. But as you mentioned, Annie Whakatopi Stewart getting that one done probably way too quick.
Yep, and then you see some of these other athletes, you know, you can see the grip, how much it was taxed. But it was Harrison Rowley who was able to use kind of that hit and bump hang power clean. Again, that really saves your grip. You're not having to chase that bar down the leg and back up again, which starts to get taxing on the grip. He was able to kind of make it through that last set of muscle ups, a couple intentional breaks. Just goes unbroken on that final barbell. Time, unofficial time of about 11:34. Great job considering there was 9 extra reps of muscle ups across the 3 rounds.
Isn't it funny? You finish, it's all smiles, oh yes, it's the greatest. You come second by a second, and it's like, I'm dying here on the floor. Something about winning.
That feels good?
Yeah.
If you've done it, you know.
Heat 3. We're trying to fatigue every body part over the entire weekend.
Go! Alright, here they go.
We have underway.
Elite individuals, heat number 3 out of the 4. Alright, so we've got some very household names that we've seen down at regionals, sanctionals, and semi-finals here down in the Oceania region. So we should see some blistering times as these athletes make their way through their first 11 sandbag cleans.
Workouts in your affiliate work, you write them up on the whiteboard. The ones with lots of parts to them, lots of body.
We've got down in lane 1, closest to the crowd, Pete Hansen. In lane 2, we've got Abby Clark. Lane 3, we've got Victoria Hannaford. Lane 4, Alice Scott. Lane 5, Grace Walton.
Yeah, Abby!
Georgia Walton.
Yeah, go Georgia!
Lane 7, Lucy Clark. And lane 8, Talia Jordan. And for the guys in lane 9, we have Harrison Rowley. In lane 10, Jaden Whakatopi Stewart. Lane 11, Bailey O'Brien. Lane 12,
This is going to be a tight one for the gentlemen.
Lane 13, Harry Debenham. Go Clips! Lane 14, Ludwig Hansen.
She was amazing
Lane 15, Mitchell Pace.
So impressive to see.
And lane 16, Rob
Especially
Watts.
with such composure at such a young age.
Get the hips open. Most of our athletes are through that first
Grace
round,
Walton
making
as
their
well.
way.
She's next to Alice Scott for the females.
Carrie Gowd on that lot of
Big confidence.
90 sandbag cleans.
Chasing better
Now
than
they're carrying it back to the start and back up to their final sandbag clean with 7 reps.
She is doing this sandbag.
After 7 sandbag cleans, they must bear hug carry that sandbag all the way down to the start, all the way up to the finish line, which is up to 2nd hill. First time we've seen the males and females making their way through. Got the same heat. It's something we haven't seen in the second round.
These competitors.
Second event this weekend where the men
Alright, so here's our first few athletes making their way through.
comes. Looking good. How'd you grab your lower back?
She already sounds recovered.
No, man. I'm fine. Just feel it's not too bad, and then you get there and you're like, it still doesn't too bad, and then you're like, God, it's off.
Was it this last?
Come on out, come on.
Just in my legs, yeah.
What was it? Legs, arms, or lower back?
It wasn't even a long time. It was just that lower back because I obviously held it like that.
Yep.
But other than that, it was fine.
Georgia Wellsman about to finish off as well. Chocolate box. This is a tough old event to start things off in the Tilda Down Under Championship. I'll tell you what, if you've got blonde hair, you're going to do well in this event apparently.
Why I'm not breathing. Has nothing to do with my fitness level, just my hair color.
Lucy Clark done as well.